we're going to see another aspect of the dates, le date, and namely how to add some emphasis to the dates. Let's take for instance the date of 25 aprile 1945. This is the Festa della Liberazione. It is the celebration of the end of World War II and the liberation from the fascist regime at the end of World War II. So 25 aprile 1945 is an important holiday in Italy. Well, we can talk about il 25 aprile, and you know that the date for the article in front of a date is il, or L apostrophe with 8 and 11. Now let's put a little bit of emphasis on this date, and we can say it is il 25 di aprile of April. So the preposition di, and then we say del, of the, and then the year 1945, del 1945. So let's talk about the prepositions di, which is the simple form, and del, which is what we call articolata or compound form. So let's look now at di followed by the various forms of the definite article in Italian. Of the in English there is only one way, it's of the. In Italian we have different forms of the article. Il, lo, la in the singular, I, gli, le in the plural. Each one of them will be contracted and will merge with di, and we will see what the results are. Di is so-called a simple preposition. When it is followed by an article, it's called compound or articolata. So let's start with di and il, and it becomes del. The input, il libro di il professore. The contraction, di plus il generates del. Let's do it now with a word that requires lo, and with a great flight of imagination we are going to use lo studente. So we have il libro di lo studente. Di lo becomes dello with a double L. Pay attention to the double L. Now let's look at the case of the article followed by a vowel, and a word that begins with a vowel when we have to use the apostrophe. So il libro di l'uomo. L'apostrophe of course derives from lo, is a contraction, and di followed by L apostrophe becomes del with the double L. So for the masculine singular we have del, dello, and then del with the apostrophe when the word begins with a vowel. Let's look at the feminine, and we know that the feminine only has one form, la. Il libro di la studentessa, again with great imagination. So I guess that by now you know what to do. You take di la and it becomes della. We have the contracted form of the article, L apostrophe. Il libro di la amica. At this point I'm sure that you know that the outcome is del amica, double L apostrophe. In the plural, the process is identical. It is a very regular, systematic process. I libri di I professori, di plus I becomes dei. Therefore, I libri dei professori. What about di plus gli, the other masculine plural article? I libri di gli studenti, well, it's degli studenti. Dei, degli. Those are the two forms of the masculine plural, of the. Femminile plurale, quickly, di le professoresse, and by now you know that di plus le will combine and become delle professoresse. If the word begins with a vowel like amiche, there is no apostrophe in the plural, so le does not change, does not become l'amiche. It remains le amiche. Therefore, the preposition will simply be delle amiche. And here once again it's a summary of the various forms: del, dello, della for the feminine, and then del double L apostrophe in front of a vowel, and that is both for the masculine and the feminine, of course. In the plural we have dei, degli, and for the feminine plural the form delle. And here is how Italian complicates such a simple form as of the. Date famose. Il 4 di luglio del 1776. Dichiarazione di indipendenza. 4 novembre 1918, fine della Prima Guerra Mondiale in Italia. È la festa della vittoria. Il 2 giugno 1946, fine della monarchia e inizio della Repubblica in Italia. Il 2 giugno è la festa della Repubblica.